the Colts. The Colts will be the first home team in the first regular season game to host a game in Berlin. I want to get y'all's thoughts. You know, we've had games in London. This isn't the first time they've done this. What's your thoughts on the NFL should play international football games? David, punter, go.
Punt. How many times do I have to say it? Stop playing regular season games overseas internationally. And Roger Goodell's talking about now like the possibility of having a Super Bowl over there. Guy, please stop it. If you want to do this, you set up an exhibition in May. How cool would that be? Oh, the Ravens and the Steelers are going to play each other in Berlin in May. You know what? Everyone wins then. Not only do the Germans get to see it, but America wants to tune in too because there's no other football happening in May. Let's set up an outside of the season exhibition or at most preseason. I don't need you playing regular season games over there. You said it was the Colts. Imagine if you're a Colts fan and you have season tickets and now you have one less home game that you get to go see. What, do I get my money back? What's up with the seat license? Yeah, I'm not trying to go to Philly and get in any fights. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
What, are you going to comp me my money back on the seats, the season tickets that I spent for? No, they're not. That's one less game I get to go take my kid to, even though I'm not a Colts fan, so I won't be there anyway.
All right, Jake, the NFL should play international football games, but are you punting or are you going?
I'm going because I love football. I want football to be the most popular thing in the world, from continent to continent, from pole to pole. And I want them, let us make you better. Let us make you better. Not saying that America does everything the best. We do most things the best. And I think from an international relations standpoint, can you imagine how many more allies we would get if we would introduce them to football? I think we could get peace in the Middle East right now if we get a couple college teams over there, an NFL team. I think this may be a play for the Colts to get that weirdo that sings all those songs over there and not let them back. That's what I'd be doing. But I want them to see it because I need you to understand.
What a way to catch straight.
I need you to understand it. And listen, what y'all did in World War II was real screwed up, all right? It was real screwed up. We all know it. But what a way to come together. Look at the game they had to watch this year. Ugh, did you see that? That was the last punishment for World War II. So give them a good game. Let's bring the international community together. No. It's the best thing that could happen to NATO. Let's go play it. Let's play it in Ghana.
Y'all stay over there. Let the globalists stay over there. This is America's game. It belongs in America. And also, you're not catching strays when you come out and say, this is our Colts. This is our team.
Dude, they invited him to the game.
And again, I know the melody of it, so clearly something he's doing.
Well, if you think about
that, or that guy's the smartest person in the world because I see him on the field every Colts game doing that.
God. Well, if you think about it, you put that guy on one of those German Wiederhosens or something, it makes sense.
What'd you say?
He looks like him.
He just wanted to say wiener.
I said,
I don't think it's Wiener.
The only time I can think about
Wienerhosen.
That's what it sounded like. The only thing I think about when it comes to international games is David trying to read that thing from Greenland yesterday.
Ilsen.
Yeah, and then a couple paragraphs down, also known as the University of Greenland.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Yeah, that's a good. We're going to buy y'all anyway, so we're just going to change that from that old name that has a bunch of vowels next to each other.
What's the next?
All right, guys, let's go to the next one right here. And I know there's one guy super excited about to do this one. It's a little SEC basketball.
Yes!
I don't know if you've been paying attention
I love
to this
college
lately.
Basketball.
I mean, we saw the Ole Miss-Alabama matchup last night where Ole Miss beat Alabama. But right now, the SEC is 185-23 versus out-of-conference opponents, which is extremely good. So my punter go question to y'all is the SEC taking over college basketball?
Punt.
David, punter, go.
Punt. You got to win the national championship first. And I've been consistent on this across multiple sports. First of all, let's just start with college basketball. A couple years ago during COVID, the Big Ten unbeatable. Remember when you could only play your conference and there was no out-of-conference games and data to lean on, so we didn't know who was really great? The Big Ten, best conference in college basketball. Big Ten's back. They're going to dominate. They get to the NCAA tournament. They don't win anything. Hadn't won a national championship in over 2 decades. That's how we gauge who is the most successful. Let's go to football. There was a couple years ago, the Big Ten, remember, Michigan and the Buckeyes got 50% representation in the college football playoff. Big Ten, best conference this year. Who ends up winning the national championship? Georgia. And the SEC still got to say, we are the premier and dominant conference in college football. And they were right in saying that, even though these last couple of years, things have shaken up a bit. So, to that point, for SEC basketball, you need to kind of do what the Big Ten has been able to do in football these last couple of years. Go win the national championship. I don't think we've seen one win it since Cal won it in 2014 with Kentucky. Go win the Natty this year with one of these teams, Bama, Auburn, one of them like that. And, then I think you can start to say, yeah, look, we've taken over a sport that we should have been dominating for decades.
All right, Jake, 183-25 versus out of conference opponents. And, just to throw this in there, Auburn is ranked number 1 in the nation. Is the SEC taking over college basketball? Punt or go?
Go. And it brings me so much personal blossoming joy to say this, because I grew up watching the SEC not be very good in basketball. Outside of a couple teams, it was a football conference. When the SEC decides they want to be the best at something, it is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. It just means more is a slogan for a reason. The passion. It is bled over now from football into college basketball. There's no nights off. It's one thing to have a good non-conference night. This is historic. Historic. They're beating Houston, catching licks left and right. North Carolina struggles against SEC teams. Kansas, it is amazing to see this transformation and the depth of the league and the coaches in this league. Guys, last night, we had the 2 Alabama and Mississippi schools play each other in college basketball.
I don't want to talk about it.
And both of them were ranked. Both of them, each team in that game was ranked. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple predictions. 1, there will be 3 of 4 Final Four teams out of the SEC, and right now it is harder to win on the road in SEC basketball than it is in SEC football.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
You say that, and I'm watching the team I bet on yesterday, Alabama, lose. Maybe that's part of why I'm bitter today on this.
You're a little bit bitter.
Is because they blew my parlay. Auburn held strong yesterday. Alabama did not hold strong.
I loved your point about the national champion, though. Let
me ask you this, though, because I'm gonna re-ask it in this sort of way. Let's say you're right about the 3 out of 4 Final Four teams. Let's say 3 out of the 4 are SEC teams, and the national champion is still UConn three-peats, or it's Duke, right, with Cooper Flag, or it's Kansas, and they win the national championship. Aren't SEC fans just making the same argument for basketball that other conferences have made traditionally for football, which is, well, we won the head-to-head in the, out-of-conference matchups during the regular season, but they didn't have the postseason success to go with it.
And I think it's kind of singular if it's like a UConn or a Duke that's like a basketball school. You look at how down the ACC is. If Duke wins it, it's not like, hey, the ACC is better than the SEC. It's kind of that singular team, right? And we hear this argument against the SEC in football all the time. Oh, it's top-heavy. It's either going to be Georgia or it's going to be Alabama, or now it's going to be Texas that they're in the conference. I think 3 out of 4 would speak volumes. I think maybe an even better question is, does 2 out of 4 do it, right? Does 2 out of 4 SEC teams in the Final Four, does that kind of in the argument? And another thing is, where are they going to seed them in the NCAA tournament? Like, how many in those 4 quadrants are they going to try and be as even as possible with SEC teams? Are they going to do what they do in college baseball? And they're like, oh, super regional? Most the SEC. Good luck.
For you guys, would you rather have 3 out of the 4 be SEC teams and they don't win the championship, or one of the teams is a SEC team and they win the championship?
I would rather have one of the SEC teams win the championship if it's not Kentucky. Because everybody would be like, oh, it's Kentucky out of the SEC like it always is. So I'll add a little bit, even more nuance to that. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Want to get to 200,000 subs. Let's make it happen, because I believe in you.